Hey, everybody. I see we're still got a bit of reverb here. Let's see if we can plug this back. I don't know if anybody missed me, but I've been really ill for about 3 days, and it still seems to be lingering a little bit, but I made it out of the house today. Robert and I went shopping, and of course, I had to buy something I wanted, so I have some new pajamas. It's just, I can't even describe it. I was just very, very ill. I love my flowers. Robert brought me some roses, as you can see in the background. It seems to me that I'm going to have to pull that a little bit. I think you can see who's talking anyway. I said, oh no. I just could not get out of bed for the last 2 or 3 days. I was that sick. And that's not like me at all. Robert took over doing everything in the house and all the animals and all the running around. And I'm trying to adjust this so I'm not. Oh, well, I knew I was going to do that eventually. I had the little one there. So you'll just have to wait a minute because I'm busy. It's been that kind of a week for me. I'm going to have to call and reschedule the mammogram because I'm just not well enough to go. I had that coming up. Probably TMI, right? Well, I saw there's all kinds of stuff going on in the last few days while I've been too ill. I don't even know where to start. I am shocked and appalled by a bunch of stuff I just found out, even today. I didn't know the FBI was hunting down Christians. And apparently they have proof of that. So that's frightening. And a worse note, if there is one, and there is, 31 of the hostages were killed yesterday. Now, I don't know what kind of evil does this anymore. I can't not wrap my head around the kind of evil that rips them from their families, probably after they killed them in front of these people. And there were a lot of kids still that they were holding, I think over a dozen. One just turned a year old in captivity. They're saying some were already dead October 7th. They're saying some died later on from their wounds. But I don't know about the rest. And it's barbaric. It's beyond barbaric. I can't find an adjective that describes the monstrosity of what is occurring there. Now, they, of course, are blaming the Israelis. See, this is the other thing I don't get. The Israelis provided free water, gas, electricity, fuel. All of it was provided by Israel for nothing, for free. UNRWA, the UN, was given somewhere, I think, around $1 billion by many countries. Ours was, I think, 319 million. And they wonder why, oh, we're a little peeled that our taxes are gone because they don't tell us where our taxes go. And yet nobody really seems to be. It's the old, you can't fight City Hall. Well, apparently you can if you get off your tuchus and go down there, but you can't get anywhere and do that because you're going to lose your job. And both of you have to work so you can have a roof over your head. It's a wonderful system. Capitalism is so real. So I heard this and then I managed to catch a shot. I've been watching for Texas. I love San Antonio. I'm very worried about Texas. We knew, and I think I've mentioned before that my husband and a lot of people in the family and friends, we have friends that are still driving trucks. We don't really know where they are right now. We haven't reached out because I've been so sick. No, I mean the kind of sick where I didn't even put on makeup. I have to be really sick to not do that. And hurting a lot too. So it's been one heck of a week. But we've been trying to keep up with the Texas situation because both the truckers and what's going on. At this point, I mean, I don't know what to do or think. Even it's like there's so much evil happening at the same time that if I don't call it biblical, I'm lying to myself. And I don't believe in organized religion. There's not a preacher, father, priest, cardinal, bishop, pope. Nobody can preach to me. I won't allow it. That's why they have the book. Read all of the books, not just one. Read the Rig Veda, read the Muslim Quran, read King James and the Geneva Bible. There's so much knowledge out here. I just love the Buddha too. He's always been so wonderful. I love his smile. But this is why I don't believe in organized religion. Christ said you would be fooled by many, that you would be going to a false religion. And how do you know which one isn't false? Well, I know they're all a bunch of they're hypocrites. These evangelism tents or stadiums or whatever they're doing nowadays are full, while the people that are supposed to be there, I don't know, preacher, whatever. Nobody needs a preacher. There's a book. But these guys are not doing that. They're buying these evangelist couples planes and $1 million homes, and they don't have a problem with that. Meanwhile, our people are sleeping on the street. And at the same time, illegal aliens are put on buses and planes and brought in and put in hotels. I just saw one in New York this morning. They said they had to get out. And you would not believe the damage they're doing to these hotels. Dear Lord above. Mm-mm-mm. I mean, might as well sack any hotel they've been in. They said they'd been there 5 months in a hotel. Why? I didn't see any time anywhere that anybody has put up a veteran who's sleeping in the street. Why don't they have a hotel room? It's our money. It's our taxes. Why aren't we saying something about that? I know everybody has also heard me say that I don't vote because the Electoral College votes in the president, and they've already done that before they give us a chance. It's the silliest thing I ever heard. And most people, even if they know it, they don't get it. They've got this nice little spiel that goes with it. Well, this state's smaller than that state. It's a vote. Everybody gets to vote. But that's not the way it's run. No, I mean, they go out there, they vote. Mm-hmm. Yeah, they vote. And they still go on with I'm just squirming. I'm in a lot of pain today, my back. They could go ahead and do like the hanging chance for Bush. Everybody knows Gore won the presidency hands down. And the only thing that they could do to save Bush from losing was to get the Florida vote. That's how they did it. Now, my country isn't America anymore. When they are going against what the governors have given them legally as to how to protect their borders, they are bound by duty, by oath, to protect those borders, not just the governors. The president is also supposed to be in on this, and he's doing his darndest to make sure they can't do it. And I don't understand it. They get money, they get phones, they get food, they get clothes, they get a hotel room for 6 months. Who can't do something in 6 months? Not to mention they're illegal. Nobody knows where they are. They give them a court date to come in and be legal. Where the heck are they? I don't know. They're using your phone. Try it. It's beyond belief. They're emptying schools and telling these kids to study from home because they have to put the illegal residents up somewhere, so they're going to take the schools. At what point do parents go, I pay school taxes, leave them wherever you want to, but we pay taxes and our kids are going to school? But they can't do that either, because then the police will all come in and beat them up and drag them out and arrest them. Illegal aliens? No, they arrested 2 or 3 for hitting. I think they hit somebody or they tried to kill somebody, and they were right back on the streets. They didn't even no bail, no nothing. Out. Whenever an illegal alien is arrested in New York, and in particular, they're not kept. There's no charges. There's no point. Mm-hmm. You should see what New York looks like now. If you're from New York, I pray for all of you. I would have left New York so fast you wouldn't have seen me for dirt. That's crazy over there. These people can't live. These people are targets. I mean, if they drive their car to work, when they come back, there's no wheels on it. There's no radio. And they're told, well, we can't help you. Just call your insurance company. Been there, done that, and that's what they do. Not very much help, if you ask me. So I've seen all of this, and I was heartbroken at the news that I heard about the Israelis killing the captives. I was scared of hearing it, but I knew I would, because evil is just blooming evil. It doesn't change its face overnight. It doesn't change in a decade. It never, ever changes. They're evil, and they have got to stop them. And now we've got Hezbollah and the Houthis. Again, I always think of Houthi and the blowfish, for God's sake. And they prove that they've been funded by Iran all this time. You should, if you haven't seen them, you should look at the tunnels. You can drive a golf cart and you can go anywhere. There's kilometers, many, many, many kilometers. They showed us, and I have been kind of stuck in bed, and I saw where the terrorist ran and dressed as women. This is why they keep the burqas on the women. You can't tell the difference. You could be a monster. You wouldn't know. And they're running into the hospital with RPGs dressed as women, going to the tunnel that's in the hospital. This was Nasser Hospital. But they got nothing to do with this. Right. Okay. And meanwhile, they're still saying, well, we want you to call a ceasefire. This was today, after they just learned that they'd killed 31 of the hostages. We want you to go to a ceasefire because we need to work out this two-state country. That's not going to happen. It can't happen. Not only, even if they get all of Hamas and get them out of Gaza and say, okay, we'll try again, we'll let the Palestinians in, it'll be the exact same thing that's happened for over 75 years. Demilitarize the strip, just make it just like Korea. That's a no man's zone, mine the shit out of it, whatever you got to do. But when they're killing, oh God, the children they've carried out, just, it's, I can't fathom looking into a child's eye, and I don't care what child or any child. How could they do that? These people will never change. So the next generation is already being taught in these UNRWA schools from the UN. I've never yet seen the UN do one blooming thing it's supposed to. It's got one job. One job. What are they doing? They're funding Hamas. They knew this. 12 of them actually was in on the attack on October 7th. And they know they've been using those funds, and this is so left, they know they're using those funds to do these things. And 12 of them, has been proven, actually participated in the, I don't even know, the slaughter on October 7th. So when I think I can't feel any worse, I see that it can be a lot worse. I saw one young lady whose arm had been nearly shot off, and they had a vet come take care of her. And thank the Lord she was in the first group of hostages that were released. Her bone had been broken when the bullet hit her, had been broken in 3 or 4 places. They just kind of set it like that and sewed it up. Nothing for pain, nothing, no Novocaine, just came on in there, did what they wanted to do, and left. Told her she better not cry, or she would end up with the rest of them in the tunnel. At that point, she was in a house. They had a lot of them put in the Palestinian houses before Hamas kept popping out of them, and the Israelis had to bring them down on top of them. Now, again, they have come out and said they want this, I don't know how it could be called a peace talk, but they want it to happen now. If that's the case, how come somebody didn't ask them to cease fire? Show of hands? No. I haven't seen anybody tell these people to cease fire. I haven't heard any of them say it's horrific what's happened. Instead, I've heard excerpts of the phone calls that these terrorists made to their families on the 7th. I just slaughtered a baby with my own two hands. And the mother's going, oh, good, good, good. What the hell is going on with this country? Any country? What's going on with the world? By the way, I also saw another thing I found interesting. Um, I know y'all heard me say that I thought I'd seen just about everything until I saw those camels floating by a couple of weeks ago. I mean, that was floating by. Yeah. And then I saw the hail hit the mosque as well as the rain and wind, so the camels floating. Then the locusts came. At what point do you go, this is biblical? No, we've got all these hostages slaughtered. They want them to pull back. Uh, the other ones are attacking them. And on top of this, I see that this, and this was put on by somebody in Saudi Arabia anyway. And Saudi Arabia is a desert. Everybody knows this or should know it. Look it up. It's a desert. That's where the camels are floating. And I was watching water shoot out of the dunes. Well, there's a lot more water coming out of everywhere. It's already created a river. This too is in Revelation. Now, I can't say that I believe everything I read or see. I don't. I'm a show me person, but that's kind of like right up there on the biblical chart, okay? She took pictures for 4 days of the Sahara Desert. She's a scientist and archaeologist. I can't for the life of me remember her name. And each day that she took pictures, first it was just those sprouts. The second day, there were bigger sprouts and more of them. And the third day, you could barely see sand. And the fourth day, it looked like a blooming golf course. 4 days. The desert bloomed in 4 days. What was in the desert too, Bloom? I don't care how much water you poured in there. You could never have made me believe that I saw with my own eyes that in 4 days it would be covered by vegetation of some sort. And it is. And a new river has formed. If this isn't biblical, I don't even know my name, which technically I don't. That's another story too. It's going to be a short one today. I got to get this finished and kind of in the can. I got to rest some more, which is again hard for me. Robert's been really great because he's been picking up all the slack. I mean, the cooking, the dishes, and all of it. He's been taking care of me. And I thought, okay, I'm almost okay today. And I knew we had to have stuff from, Wally World, which all of us do thinking we're saving money because it's just at the one place and, you don't lose a lot of gas. You don't do all that, right? And geez, it's ridiculous in there. It really is. Um, and we went to his. I call it his because it's the regular ginormous Walmart that has everything. Oh, as I might have known, I don't know if it can be seen. I don't see my chat going. Again, it's for entertainment purposes, even if I'm being silly today. I think you can see it's a cute little thing with a turquoise type of blonde, but he got me a new watch. Is I've been fussing because I have like 3 boxes full of watches and they're beautiful, but they don't run. We've got to find batteries, and he doesn't know I'd say his battery, but he's been trying to get those. And so to keep me quiet, I think he bought me a new watch and he bought me a new set of pajamas. I don't go very much. I don't go out very much. And that's probably why, because I spend too much money. And if I didn't laugh, I'd cry. I really would. It's just disheartening to see that my own people, Americans, are racist. They actually are yelling for the death of Israelis. They want them dead. They want this river to the sea thing for the Palestinians. And they don't seem to understand. That's genocide. what they're actually out there protesting is that they want genocide. Now, if my kid was stupid enough, and he's going to be 45 this year, if he was stupid enough to be out there burning my flag and wearing a Palestinian flag while he had then turned and burned the Israeli flag, when I got a hold of him, he'd be one of the sorriest little things on this planet. And what are they paying? What are the parents paying for it? Are the parents paying so these kids can act like this? That can't be legal. It used to be you could not hurt the flag. You could not, disgrace the flag. And these people are burning on it, burning people in effigy, da 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 da. I slapped my son stupid, and I love him to pieces, but it would have been all over but the bruising. There's no way that that would have walked with me. It wouldn't have walked with my husband either. We have great kids. We have great grandkids, and they know don't mess with that because grandma and grandpa gonna come get you. It won't be mom and dad. Even my son himself would shake his head and say, "Son, mom." It's not that I hurt him, no. Although, yes, in that particular case, I'd be slapping them about the face and head. Yes, I would. This is the most horrific thing I've ever seen since the Nazis. And yet, the UN can't seem to function without providing aid for all the blooming terrorists in the Mideast. I don't see them doing the one thing that they're supposed to do. They have a charter, and it says if you attack one of us, that's why it's called United Nations. Why they're paying them, I don't know. Because they certainly aren't doing their job. They should be disbanded immediately because they're the ones that have been keeping the terrorists funded. Not to mention fight alongside them for what? Giggles? What? Well, how do you get up that day and you go, oh, I'm going to go murder 1,400 people and 500 kids? I can't wrap my head around it. Just, I can't do it. All of that alone has made me angry, so I couldn't watch those anymore. My husband keeps saying, don't yell at the TV. I like yelling at the TV. I always win the argument. I finally did see, and there's several videos. I just haven't edited because I've not been well. So I did see that I managed to make it on YouTube live. I saw 2 of my podcasts. So I'll tickled about that. Thank you guys. I can't thank you enough. Please, please, please hit that like button, ring the bell, subscribe. It's free. And if you don't like it, get rid of it. There's a basic bonus to having a bar in my own home. If I get upset, I'll do what my parents used to do for women. And I'll go get a stiffener, or Robert will for me. It's just a shot of something that's like 190 proof, and you're happy for a while. But today I feel so bad, and I had to take a lot of medicine, so I can't do that. But I wanted to. By the time we had gotten done the grocery store and everything, and he's picking up all this heavy weight, and this is where I hurt my back a week ago, and that's causing me a lot of problems. I picked up over 150 pounds, for the cats and stuff, and it did a number on me. It was like, oh really, you want to try that again? Go to bed. I just, like I said, I didn't feel like getting up and explaining all that, so forgive me for being gone for those few days. I've missed everybody out there. I'm hoping I'll have some of you hit that button for me. Put a comment in there. Put anything you want to in there. We will look at it. We will study it. We will have fun talking about it. Right now, I'm trying to keep my channel, and I'm trying to pick a time since now I've seen that it's live stream like I was recording it for was live stream. And I wanted a live stream because I could talk to everybody while they were in real time. And I think that's just so awesome. It's just amazing. So I can't wait till that starts to get to rolling. But they do, I'm on YouTube, of course, they do like those algorithms to go up a wee bit. And I would appreciate anybody hitting that like button. You don't have to subscribe, but just tick that like button for me. I don't care if you don't want to come to my bar. Just hit that like button. You want to come to the bar? Send me a message. We will figure it out, okay? And I've already set it up. I have heard back from a couple of my Facebook friends, and that's been nice that they've seen it because I haven't posted too many, but over the couple of weeks I've been doing it, I did post, here and there. I would post it after I had gone through live stream for YouTube. And most of them are going, "How do you do that? You don't even know 20 million people are looking." I'm like, "Well, hi." I would be flabbergasted, and I would be having a time of my life if I just had 1,000 subscribers. I'd be happy. I'm not looking to hit 2 million, but we'll see. You never know. Life is like a box of chocolates, as somebody once said. Yeah, I hope everybody out there is having a more rocking day that I have had today so far. I hopefully will just put my feet up and rest the rest of the day again, and will hopefully be better tomorrow. And like I said, though, nothing about tomorrow is given. You just never know. I would like to know why New York is throwing the kids out of their schools and putting in illegal immigrants. That's a really it's probably didn't work right. That's a really strange gander there is to go. Oh, I'm just dropping everything. Just kick the kids out of school. These people pay taxes. I still pay taxes. I don't have any kids in school. I have a granddaughter, but she's not in my area. I mean, no matter where you live, you're going to pay school taxes. And those parents are paying school taxes and they're paying for those kids to get through. This isn't just a free ride. It used to be different. They didn't add county taxes and school taxes when I was growing up. Even so, my dad was horrifically angry when when they started taking out those taxes because even though he had grown up through the Depression and World War II and fought in the Navy in the Pacific Theater, he was still so angry because people didn't make much anyway, and my mama didn't work. I mean, I'm fortunate that I was able to do what I wanted to do, which was to get out, make a life, and I did. Of course, I have a great husband who takes care of me very well. I can't say I'm Madonna, and I got $1 million in the bank, but I'm as happy as I can be given the situation. If you think about it, Yellowstone's got several more alerts. Oklahoma's having earthquakes they ain't supposed to. I mean, I just don't know what. Oh, yes. And California this morning got hit with mudslides that took out, I don't know, maybe a dozen homes. Bless their hearts. I hope they weren't in them because when the soil erodes away from the rain, and that's what happened, they had a lot of rain, then those beautiful $8 million homes went down with it. It was terrible. I still feel for those people. This they weren't told this, they didn't expect this, and truthfully there is no way they could prepare for this. You can't do anything when the ground under you is sliding downhill. It's just not going to help you. And in some cases, it wasn't even on the hill, but it made a hill once it hit it and run down. So, California's been hit with all of that. We had the blizzard to deal with all across the north and northeast. And this is why I keep saying, I don't know why people live there. I left there at 17. The minute I could put that snow shovel down, I left. Of course, my brother cheated. He inherited the house. He had to go get one of them, snow blowers. That doesn't work on ice. Think about that now. That should not work on ice. And when you had to get out there with that snow shovel, you had a good inch or two of ice down there too. There was always ice. You would have a wall of snow and ice with a pathway, and that's how you walked to school. Like I said, they said my dad and every other person, they didn't stop and then go forward at the driveways. They just ran that stuff right up the driveway. So you had to dig out 12 feet of snow to go to work. It didn't take me very long to go, no, I don't think so. I'm going further south. I did do Europe, and it's very cold there too. Um, they had some amazing, innovative things, though, in Germany in particular, where I stayed. And I stayed off base and worked off base because I had a baby and he needed to eat. And so, I mean, it's not like they're paying soldiers like they do now. They sure didn't then. So it was, work on the German economy so I could afford it. And housing took so long. And they offered us an 8-bedroom home, which I couldn't accept because I only have one infant. And there's surely some family who makes an 8-bedroom apartment. These were all huge apartments. So I never did get in, really, technically, anyway. Mm-mm. Let's see what else was there that I wanted to touch base on. Of course, y'all throw some comments in there and help me out a lot, especially the like button. Hit the blooming like button. I can't say that enough. Hit the like button. I don't care if you like it, just hit it anyway. We have, oh yes, and the UNRWA, I was saying that 15 countries have now decided to defund it. Why did it take them so long? Mm-mm. Did they know where the money was going? If they're going to give an organization billions of dollars a year, they should know where the bloody heck is going. Now they're saying it was just for teaching materials and students to learn. And so, people, I mean, come on. And Bernie Mac said, "Don't do your best joke in front of any other comedians. That's just like stealing in front of the cops." And it's the same thing. They've known, the UN knows what's going on with that money. They knew. I don't care what anybody says. The UN has more terrorists sitting on the board than they do regular members because they certainly are not fighting back. Well, we've had to add another battleship. And this costs, each missile goes over there. Apparently, we spend $1 million. I don't know how that works, but that's what they said this morning. So they're still attacking in the Red Sea. And so people are still paying extra money for guards, and they're going around Cape Horn of Africa instead of, going through there. And I think it goes from there to the Panama Canal, but I'm not sure exactly on the right. I haven't looked it up. But enough, enough. It's time for the UN to stand up with every country that's already standing up and do something. This isn't just the Middle East, like I mentioned already. Our Texas border, in particular, is so overrun. Uh, and it's not just that. New York has nowhere else to put them. They were being busted in New York. Why New York? I don't know. New York's a little big state. I don't know what that was about. And Texas there's no room. There's still no room. And Texas is a huge, huge country. Well, state, I should say. Uh, and they finally, after telling the president, you have the right to stop this. And if you don't, we're going to do this because we have the powers enabled to us by our founding fathers to do this. So do you want to do this or do you want us to do this? Well, mm, I guess they didn't want to do that because they've mobilized the guard. Then they have put up concertina wire and they're trying to finish the fence. And as fast as they do it, they send some federal agents down there to remove it. And yet they're doing nothing. They just passed somehow another bill that gives them like $1,600 when they get their feet on the other side. I mean, their feet on the other side. Doesn't matter what they're doing, where they're going. Okay, I don't know about you guys, and I'm retired. My husband's retired. But we paid these taxes all our lives, and we've never had a say as to where they're going. And I think it's time for everybody using social media, get together, everybody stand up and say, we're not going to do this anymore. We don't like this. That's our money. We're supposed to know where it's going, and you're fired. If they cannot take care of business in Congress, they need to be fired. And right now, as far as I'm concerned, most of them are guilty of treason. The president is very, very, very guilty of treason. Now, they'll probably take this down because I said the truth here, but I'm sorry for him. That's the truth. And we all know it. I don't know how many thousands of truckers have made it up there. And they're trying to make sure that they're not stepping on anybody's toes, they're not taking traffic apart or any of that. This is being very well organized. These trucks are not just sitting in lanes, stopping, keeping this from going on. No, they've made maps out to where these trucks are going and where they need help and so forth and so on without causing any damage or whatever to the surrounding civilians. And they've done a very good job of that. But then they had to, and they shouldn't. And what worries me is, again, he continues to send this down. He took this to court. And for some reason, court has said no, the government can't, of a state cannot stop immigration. Yes, they can. Yes, they can. Read Read it. Pick up a book. Watch a movie. There's all kinds of ways you can figure that out, and I'm too tired to tell you. You're wrong. You're traitors. And 100 years ago, you would have already been drug out and tarred and feathered. So I'm hoping if you guys get a chance to see this, like that button real quick, because I doubt they're going to leave this on very long. They know that the people know. They know that the people are a hot mess right now. Truck drivers, it's hard. People don't know that. I didn't realize until I went with my husband quite a lot there. It's been some time, but I didn't realize how difficult that job is. And running a truck and they don't rest. They're in a truck, they're in a seat, or they're in a small bunk bed trying to get 6 hours of sleep to start it all over again. And nobody would have. You think Walmart's bad? Wait till Walmart's empty. Did anybody ever wonder what the 700,000 truckers were going to be doing? What they usually do? What they pick up? Where they deliver? No, y'all didn't think of that, did you? That stuff doesn't come by train. Oh, yeah, it'll get there. It might get by train. It's going to be put on a truck. Whether it came by boat, train, I don't care if they parachuted that puppy in, it's going by truck. And yet the drivers were never really recognized for their heroics. And right now, these truck drivers are losing tons of money every minute that they are there. And yet they are trying to help the only way they know how. Most of the drivers, most of the trucks that are there are privately owned. But it means that for every hour they're there, they're losing a lot of money. And this is what bugs me about the whole thing. That you're going to give an immigrant money, but you're not going to pay any attention. Get down. Come on. Oh. Oh, you got it again. There you go. Well, I see we're going to have to hold on in this. Yeah, we